Hello guys, and welcome to Photoshop Jazz Tutorials, and this week I'm going to be showing you a back to basics tutorial. That's something new, we haven't done that for a while, but I found out this really awesome effect. I was just playing around in Photoshop a couple of days ago and accidentally stumbled across a really cool effect that was very simple, so I thought I would dub it as a back to basics tutorial for you guys. Essentially, it's going to be a black and white glow effect. That's what I'm going to call it. I don't really know if there's a technical term for it. There might be, I don't know. But in playing around, I just created a cool black and white glowing effect, and I want to share it with you guys. So, let's get started. You want to first open a photo of choice. I'm using this lovely photo here I found on google.com, but of course, as always, use your own. And you're going to want to duplicate that photo because we're going to be doing two different effects on two different layers, so you want to have two photos. So before we do anything before that, you want to make sure that you turn your second layer black and white. Now to do so, all you have to do is do Command-Shift-U. That will descerate your photo. Or if you really don't know what that is or how to do that on the keyboard, just go to Image Adjustments and then click the word descerate, and that will then turn it black and white like such. Alright, we're going to hide that layer for now because we don't really need that just yet. We're going to now work on the main layer here, layer 1. Now, I'm using an adjustment layer mainly because, as I've said previously in previous tutorials, I don't like adding the effects directly onto the image because in the event I make a mistake down the road, it's hard to track back and refix that mistake because you can only go back and undo so many times before Photoshop says stop right there, you're an idiot, we can't help you. And then you have to actually delete the entire document and start from scratch. It takes so much time away from what you're doing. So it's much easier to use adjustment layers because when you make a mistake, you can delete the adjustment layer and then make it more easy than going and opening the image again and blah blah blah. So that's why I'm doing it that way, but if you would like to do it the image and adjustments method way, that's fine, your preference there, but to find the adjustment layer, it's down here, right here, at this button here. They're all the same, no matter which side you go to. Alright, and we're going to be working with Channel Mixer today. I've not really used Channel Mixer that often, but I found it's really nice, and I like it just as much as Color Balance, so I might be using it more often now. So on my Channel Mixer, I've chosen these numbers here, and I've made sure to select monochrome. Now monochrome is basically turning it black and white, but adding it more contrasty, more whiteness, brightness, and all that stuff to it, which makes it look really cool. So I'm going to now enable that layer so you can see what I've done. I've basically turned the background almost pitch black, just about. I'm more or less fading it in. It's kind of like making a vignette, but not really. It's a lot different than that. So what I've done is I've used these numbers here. I've used the reds, the blues, greens, and the constant. You can play with it and see what looks good for you, or you can use my numbers here as I'm showing you here. But again, you might find it different for each photo because each photo has a different set of color tones to it, and that will then differentiate the different way it looks out. But this is what I've done here. Now, the subject in the photo, the girl, does not matter on this layer because like we've done, we've duplicated the layer and we're going to use that layer as the main girl layer. And then we're going to delete the background on that layer, which I will show you now. So once you have your photo like you want it, with the background sort of blackish like that, go back to your second layer, copy, layer 1 copy, and make that visible. And you'll notice how now we have a very bright background. We want to showcase the darker background that we just created in the previous layer. So we're going to go grab a soft round eraser brush of choice. I'm using 184 because my photo is very large, but you may have to tone it down a bit or tone it up more. It depends on how big your document is. And then what you'll do is you'll erase around the image with your soft round eraser brush. And it's okay if you leave a little bit of the background around the sides of the girl because if you do that, that will then give you the glowing effects that you want. So just erase around the parts that you don't really need, blah blah blah. And when you erase around it and bring forth the previous layer, you will then get an effect similar to that. So you'll notice how I have a little bit showing and glowing around the girl, and that's how I got the glowing effect. It couldn't be more simpler than that, guys. It's that easy to make a cool black and white glowing effect. You can do so much with the power of the color channel mixer and all these other things. It's just so much cooler. Now, there's also one other thing you can do. This is optional, of course, but you can go to Image and Adjustments, and I'm doing this on top of the layer, but that's because I'm not doing much to it. I've also adjusted the shadows and highlights on this layer. And this is again inside and on top of that one layer that I've just made the copy layer. I've adjusted the amount of the shadows, total width, radius, and the highlights and all that stuff here. That's again personal preference, but if you don't want to go that far, you don't have to. You can leave it as it was and it looks still pretty cool. But yeah. So that's my tutorial, that's my spiel. I hope you learned something. I hope it was informational for you. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or whatever you want, comment below. If you're feeling shy, which you shouldn't, you can inbox me here as well with any questions or whatever, and I will surely get back to you in a timely fashion. And yeah, also guys, check me out on social media. All links below. Also check out our cool t-shirt store. I haven't posted much on that store yet because I'm just not really figuring out what to put on there. If you guys have any cool t-shirt design ideas you want to have showing on the store that you would like to purchase, hit me up on all social media, comments below, wherever you want, and I'll be sure to take your idea into consideration. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye!